I thought your latest song was very awesome. It's very good.
Which
Your
one?
AI girlfriend.
Oh, the AI
girlfriend
girlfriend one.
song.
Yes, yeah.
There's something wrong with my AI girlfriend's face.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Thank you.
I would describe you as an performance artist. Do you agree with that?
Sure. If that's a word you like, then I'm down for it.
How would you describe yourself as a creator?
Schizophrenic.
Schizophrenic. But as a creator.
Yeah, schizophrenic. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's the one. Performance artist is a good word. I think it describes a lot of what I do.
Now, before you were doing your YouTube thing, you were a journalist, right?
Right. I was a journalism student. Yep.
Why did you then decide to go to YouTube instead?
It's not like I decided. It's just like, well, how are you going to be a journalist? I don't know. I still haven't figured that out. I think it's probably harder to be It's harder to be a journalist making minimum wage than a successful YouTuber.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. But why did you get your journalist degree if you enjoyed doing YouTube so much?
Here, I'll show you my journalism degree. I've got it on the wall over here. I did a show at Carlton recently and I took a bite out of it. I put hot sauce on it and I took a bite out of it. And so I've replaced, I got high distinction. I did very well in journalism. I got very good grades, but I've crossed it out. And I put Sigma Studies instead. And my minor in English, I replaced with Big Things Coming. And I replaced Carleton University with Grosvenor University, because I'm all about that grind now. So
that's awesome.
Why did I get a journalism degree? I think because that's what you're supposed to do if you're middle class and you have parents. They want you to go and they want you to get a job and they want you to go to university and study. And I'm more of I've always been more of an autodidact. I like learning stuff and figuring stuff out for myself, but I also have low self-confidence. So I did what society wanted of me.
I think it's very fascinating how you took the step from being a journalist to being a full-time YouTuber. If you are a full-time YouTuber,
I am.
How did you build up the nerve to do that?
Well, I was about to get a journalism job, not a journalism job, it was like a communications job, which is what you get with a journalism degree. And that same day I got $60 on YouTube and I'm like, oh, I can do this instead. So it was just serendipitous. It was just good luck. You know, alternate universes, I am slaving away for minimum wage at a journalism job to get yelled at by people on x.com for being a liar. So I don't know how I built up. I don't think I did build up the nerve. I think it was just an accident, honestly. I don't know.
Because I think many people, many people in general get a job and then instead of doing what they want as you did, they don't. What do you have to say to those people?
I think that it's really not your fault because the world exists. You know, you exist in a world where you have to make money to live. I think things would be better if there was a little bit more social support for people who don't immediately make money off their craft. Maybe a universal basic income of just a little teeny tiny bit, just so you can not starve to death or pay your rent for like 3 more months before you have to go out into the street in a box or whatever. So I think that would probably be good because right now, like the way things are right now, it encourages you to think on such a short-term basis, like just month to month, paycheck to paycheck, that you can't actually build any like useful human skills. And that contributes to the atomization where you have to just grind and hustle all by yourself alone. And that's no good. That's actually unhuman, I would say. Look, I mean, this is my impression of a guy at work. Okay, now he's like, oh, that was tough. Time to unwind. That's no life. Not living a life. Just blow your brains out at that point. I don't know. Like, this isn't good. This isn't enough. You need to, at some point, go, mwah. And thanks for being my friend. And, nature. At some point, at least once every 5 years. Is that too much to ask? Am I crazy?
You got very popular with your politics videos. What is your opinion on doing like politics videos? Why is that so interesting?
Well, politics is very relevant in the modern day. But you know what the real reason is? It's because that's what did well on my YouTube channel. I would have done fucking anything for views because I couldn't be a journalist because journalism doesn't give you any money and everyone hates it. I mean, I would have done like if I made a Minecraft video and that blew up, we would be having a very different conversation.
So you weren't really personally interested in politics?
Politics is boring. I don't know if you noticed. And it's
yes.
Everyone involved with it has autism. It's terrible. So I mean, I'm not kind of a non-standard political entity, I guess, which I think was where the market appeal was.
Your running for mayor and ironic rave events, I think is one of your best stuff you've made. Do you plan on making more stuff like that where bigger? Yes, some huger things.
Yes, in Toronto. That's kind of the why I'm here. I'm working with all these different YouTubers on all these different live events, and I want to do more real-world flesh-based activities. And I want to make it bigger and better. every time. And yeah, I think we can do a lot of interesting, chaotic, fun, good stuff in the real world and get people touching flesh. That's my goal. I want everyone's flesh to be touching.
Well, do you have a great idea for a future event that you want to reveal?
Sure, I've got plenty. But the ironic rave stuff is fun, like just doing like bigger events of that, you know, with just ironic music, and you can meet people. You can, like the last one we did was in Toronto. We got 100 people out, 5 hours long, $15 tickets. That's $3 an hour, and people would like hang out. A lot of people became best friends from that event afterwards, they told me. So I mean, like, it's just an opportunity to create real world community, and not on a fucking Discord server, which isn't real.
How do you go about making content? How do you get an idea and then think, this is what I actually want to make?
Yeah. So I have a guy who's tied up in my basement, and that's where I get my ideas from. I slap him around. What's my next video idea? And I rip the tape off his mouth, and he's like, make a fetish political compass. Put the fetishes on the political compass and see what writes fetish is. I'm like, thank you so much. And I slap him around a bit. I put the tape back on, and I come back next week for my next idea.
That's fucking awesome.
I mostly just, you get ideas as a process of creating things. So the more you create, the more ideas you get. So if you have one idea in your head and you make it, you'll have 4 ideas by the end of that process. That's what I talk about on my second channel about art. Yeah.
Do you have trouble like focusing on one video, or do you have like so many video ideas at once?
Yes, I have a million ideas at once. I'm always doing a million things at once. 99% of those things don't happen because my attention is too split. I think they have a psychiatric term for that, but I don't believe in psychiatry. So
you don't?
Nope.
Why?
Bunch of quacks. I have schizophrenia, as I've previously mentioned. This predisposes me towards disliking institutions of power like psychiatry. They keep calling me schizophrenic. Can you believe it? Yeah. Only I get to call me schizophrenic.
What is your favorite topic to make videos about?
Well, it kind of varies. You know, right now I like making videos about art because they're doing well. They make me a lot of money, and I enjoy talking about art. And I got a lot to say about art. I really feel like it's my calling. But sometimes I really want to talk about some political issue because I think I have a fun take on it. Sometimes I want to talk about, you know, whatever comes to my mind. I don't know. My desires and flows, they change day to day. So it's hard to predict. But I'm an artist. I like talking about art. Everything I approach through that lens.
Why art, do you think, out of everything?
It's just it's a socially acceptable way of kind of using my schizo talents for good, I guess, or for social value, or for at least what makes me money on the internet.
I heard in another interview, and I don't know if you were being ironic, but I heard you saying stuff like you found it scary that we people are starting to separate a lot more than we used to because of technology.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think
that's I don't remember saying that, but I do believe it. So I think you've done well in regurgitating it back to me.
I think you were saying it as one of your biggest concerns.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's accurate. Yeah, that's accurate. That's why I have a physical flesh-based studio with people in it now. Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think that's a huge problem?
Well, why do I think atomization is a huge problem? I think people tend to have lower quality of life when they have no homies. I know this is a hot take in the modern day, okay, but let me just I think actually if you go up to literally anybody, no matter their political affiliation or their beliefs or any of their identity groups, and if they're atomized, their life is probably worse if they're not connected with the community. I mean, the secret to happiness is just having a purpose in a community. It's not very complicated. So if you don't have that, it's probably not. Life is either probably bad, or it is bad, but you think it's good because you have coped so hard that you believed yourself to be an introvert or something.
What about music? Your very beginning of YouTube, you were very interested in making music and like poetry songs, and you're still doing it. Would you in the future go more in the musical area, or just keep making the performance?
I could get out of youtube.com and pull what they call a joji, which is to become a successful music artist off of my YouTube career. I'd do that shit in a heartbeat. Do I know how to do that?
Okay.
No, I don't know how to do that shit. I don't know how he did it. I'm also not really a musician. I'm more of a lyricist. I write words, and so I work with other talented producers and stuff in terms of making music. But yeah, I mean, I love making music, and that's one of the many forms of art I engage with. And I hope to keep making more music. I have an album that's coming out next month that I've been working on for a while. I'm doing a live show for that. It's a 1 one-man musical. So I'm probably always going to be making music.
What are your inspirations for making art?
I hate everything and everybody, and so I don't have any positive inspiration. I only have negatives. Okay. So if someone does something better than me, and I get jealous and I want to kill them, that's my inspiration.
For real?
Yeah. I don't have any positive. Nice. Like Bo Burnham is a similar artist to me. I think if I ever got an interview with him, I would kill him. I would just it would be a Joker style, bam. You can put that on record, by the way.
Nice, I will.
Report that to the authorities. I don't give a shit. Bo Burnham, bam. Tell me another joke, Bo. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for the watchers? Any life tips?
My advice for young folks is, kind of like in fitting with the themes we talked about today. Technology doesn't have to isolate you, by the way. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. But, if we use it unconsciously, it sort of plays out negative behavioral pattern. A colleague of mine, Too Mad, died recently. And I think that was a real good example of why you shouldn't be on the computer 16 hours a day on drugs. I think now more than ever, we need to be looking to others to define ourselves, not just the computer. If you let the computer define you, give you all these identity labels, then you'll find yourself becoming so specific that you have like no friends. Just engaging with real people in the real world really gets you out of your own brain, and you're socially constructed. The other people kind of create your identity when they look at you and when they interact with you, and that's fine. You have an internal identity, but you have to give that up a little bit when you interact with others, because you need to like tell them, you need to like figure out how to love. Do you know how to love? Can you love on the internet? I don't really think so. I think you need to love in real life, and I think you need to look to others for love. And that's my advice to young people is that, and you should be somewhat aware that the society you live in is sick. It's not like, obviously pull yourself up by your bootstraps and everything, but like the world you live in is a little sick right now. So just be aware of that, because it's not entirely your fault for the problems that you have if everyone has those problems. Yeah.
Awesome. That was so great. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Thank you.